Good afternoon, good evening, 5 o'clock, monumental day for Indian chess and seems to be a draw at this point in time. If you understand your chess, very drawish, very drawish. Who's that? Bharat Ramraj joins us, Devashish Sen joins us. We will keep an eye on the Gukesh game because it's seeming like a draw. Shomik Chakraborty Atreya will join us towards the second half of the show. If it is a draw, it goes to tiebreak. Monumental day for Indian chess. Huge day. But doesn't seem that Ding Liren will be able to take advantage of whites. Gukesh did push, at least in the middle. Seemed that black was trying to experiment, but seems a draw. We'll come back to that. Let's start with Champions Trophy. Rashid Latif speaking to Shomik Chakraborty tells him that Champions Trophy will be postponed. Devashish Sen, Champions Trophy will be postponed, says Rashid Latif. Why on earth should the ICC do that? Because Pakistan doesn't prepare its stadiums on time. Should we postpone the Champions Trophy? And then and do what? Shobik, exactly what was the conversation? What did Rashid Latif say? Why is it that Pakistan all of a sudden wants Champions Trophy postponed? Because this is a move. Compared to the stalemate, this is like after 45 minutes, somebody's played a move. Ding Liren has played a move. Pakistan now claiming Champions Trophy will be postponed. Tell me more.
Yeah, the conversation went like that. I asked him, "Do you have any information?" He said, "All quiet on the Western Front, in the sense on the Naqvi front, given that he's very tight-lipped on the issue at the moment, and even the two-thirds of the PCB is not aware of what has been going on. But he has got some contacts. He's said to have some contacts within the PCB, and said, मेरे को ये लग रहा है कि चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी पोस्टपोन हो जाएगा." So I asked him, "Rashid bhai, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं?" क्योंकि I mean, Star Sports has already come up with the tournament promo. Then he said, उसमें तो डेट नहीं दिखाया. I asked him, "Rashid bhai, the fact of the matter is that you don't have another window. ICC doesn't have another window, because after this, from March 14 to May 25, we have the IPL, followed by the World Test Championship final, and then India will embark on a 5 test series, a tour of England for a 5 test series. So where is the window?" He stuck to his point and said, "मेरे को ये लग रहा है कि चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी पोस्टपोन हो जाएगा." Um, I asked him, "Is it anything to do with the venues, the renovation work of the venues not finishing on time?" He said, "I don't know. I think the way the impasse has been, or the ongoing impasse, and Pakistan saying that reverse hybrid model, BCCI to be given in writing, BCCI वो नहीं दे रहे हैं." तो according to him, he repeated, "then मेरे को लगता है ये चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी पोस्टपोन हो जाएगा."
And the other point, and this is a more important point, that Rashid Latif clarified the Bhai point, that he was apparently referring to a Bhai who is not the world renowned criminal that we are talking about. He's some other Bhai. Shomik, you want to clarify that for our viewers? Bharat Ramraj has a smile on his face. Gargi looks tense. Gargi doesn't like Bhais. Shomik, your thoughts.
So I asked him, "रशीद भाई, आपने बोला वो डॉक्टर नुमन नवाज के
Wait,
शो
Shomik.
में
This
that
guy, this guy,
you refer to."
Shomik Dao. This guy does like bhais. Let's get him first. Shubhan Rashid Latif has clarified to Shomik today that he was not referring to the world renowned bhai. It was apparently some other bhai. Shomik will tell you the story. Yeah, Shomik, tell us.
Okay, so the see, I asked him, "रशीद भाई, you आपने ये बोला था डॉक्टर नुमन नवाज के शो में कि you refer to some why, and it has been interpreted as, I mean, you know who it is. Yeah, an underworld don who is sheltering in Pakistan." He said, "No, it was a completely wrong interpretation. I referred to Altaf Hussain." He said, "देखो क्या है कि ये कराची एंड बॉम्बे में तो कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. बॉम्बे में सीनियर्स को भाई बोलते हैं, और कराची में भी सिमिलर सेम है, हम सीनियर्स को भाई बोलते हैं. We I referred to Altaf Hussain, the renowned politician Altaf Hussain, and said, यहाँ पे उनको सब भाई बोलते हैं." तो I asked him, I mean, he has been in London since 2016. I mean, he has been, his Mazir Qaumi movement fell flat on the face. I mean, he was a very big politician. If you are referring to that Altaf Hussain, he was a very big politician and he was a sort of troublemaker for the establishment. But he has taken recluse in London. He said, no, we still call him Bhai.
Shubhan, you can call anybody bhai. I've got no problems with bhai, but then you will say यहाँ पे पास में भाई रहते हैं. I mean, so Altaf Hussain is a gunda or what? He's not. He's a politician. Do we refer to? You might live next to any politician. Will you refer to a politician in that real sense as a gangster? I mean, maybe Rashid Latif is different, but this I when Shomik told me this story, I found it really funny. I found it really funny. I mean, you want to give an excuse, you want to lie. यार lie well. झूठ बोलना है तो झूठ तो प्रॉपरली बोलो. ये क्या झूठ बोल रहे हो यार? I mean, one level you are saying Champions Trophy will be postponed. Another level you are saying the bhai I was referring to is Altaf Hussain. Shumain, your thoughts on this?
He's just covering up. I think someone must have called him and given him a good word or two, and that's why he's just covering things up, nothing else. If I say something controversial now, and if someone from my Indian government calls me up, I'll definitely try to cover things up in whatever manner I can possibly do. So I think something like that must have happened, and no surprise that is coming up with city cover-ups, because he does I I don't even know what to say. I don't think he has had uh, he would have a sensible defense on his behalf after saying what he did. Boryada.
But your comment on the Champions Trophy will be postponed because before I go to the others on the panel.
If it gets postponed, I think the broadcasters will be the most happiest. I think they have overpaid for the Champions Trophy 50 over format, ICC tournaments in 50 over formats in recent times, including the World Cup, have been loss making ventures for broadcasters, especially, and they clearly have overpaid for the Champions Trophy and the upcoming cycle. So if it gets postponed, or if it gets cancelled, then broadcasters will say, okay, give us our money is back, and the same goes with the sponsors as well. But I don't think it will be postponed. It looks very tough to postpone a tournament and free up a section of calendar, that too during an ICC tournament. I think ICC will be more than happy to have it without Pakistan, if they don't budge, and then possibly hand up a sanction as well. And I think that sanction will be pretty much hard for the PCB to cope up with, because they are already in loss. Their stadium renovations are yet to be completed. So these are the a couple of details that they would be extremely unhappy about, and I don't think they also PCB, as in PCB, will be uh, eager to postpone or cancel it. It will just for some social media clicks, but I don't think in real life social media clicks adds up to anything. PCB would not be eager to cancel or postpone the tournament at all.
So Rohit Rashid Latif tells Shomik that Champions Trophy will be postponed. Number one, and number two, he says he was not referring to the bhai as in the gangster we are all talking about. He was referring to Altaf Hussain. Your thoughts on that? At least if he wants to mask it, he should mask it better.
I can't comment on that Altaf Hussain thing, because now hypothetically, when the things got out of control, he can say any of the thing. He can't say this now, that he said that bhai term, and from an ex cricketer, if you're listening that kind of language from an ex cricketer, some of their YouTubers can do it, that I know. They can cross any border, they can cross any limit, I know that. But coming it from an ex cricketer, which we all respected, I'm not saying what changed after that, when he said all those things before there. He was said that he was, I remember his statement, I think around 2019, that हम वहां अगर ताजमहल ना बनाते तो ये ना होता, वो ना होता. I don't want to get into the history and the architectures done by the Mughals and before that. don't want to get into that there. But us समय लगा that there's just this is just a mistake, sentiments kind of thing between India and Pakistan will keep on happening. But now again, using this kind of language and using these kind of terms, and what he said to Shamikda is, I think he was just again trying to because look, if Champions Trophy postponed, or if Champions Trophy doesn't happen, it will cater two things to Pakistan. First, Jai Shah as ICC chairman didn't able to organize his first tournament, under his capacity. He won't able to, do this. So I think that's a very big, a kind of failure in front of, they'll try to put in front of Jai Shah that, Jai Shah, ICC chairman, first tournament under him, the first ICC tournament, and it got postponed. He can't able to do anything. Currently also they are doing that. Look, this is so big match. This is so much of a, that there are still so much of confusions. What Jai Shah is doing in Brisbane, he was talking about Olympics and this and that. He has to be here. He has to focus on this. This is how, and this is what the Pakistan media is at this point of time saying. But I think that if Champions Trophy got postponed, there were two things. First, they will obviously, as I said, they will put it in front of Jai Shah as failure, and the second thing they will do is that, look what we have done. If India is not coming to Pakistan, if they are not understanding our hybrid model to hybrid model thing, look what we have done. We have just postponed it. So I think Rashid Latif is trying to be the mouthpiece of Mohsin Naqvi and all others. I'm sorry to say this, but he wants to now propagate this as their point of view from because this is done by all of their YouTubers also, that now it is a deadlock situation. Pakistan is not talking to India is not talking to Pakistan. There is no communication in last 5 days between Mohsin Naqvi and Jai Shah. Jai Shah is in Brisbane, Mohsin Naqvi is in Pakistan. He's not anymore in Lahore. He's not anymore in Dubai. So yeah, this is a complete deadlock situation. Now what will you do? So they are trying to now put this as their agenda, that first thing they'll do is, if Champions Trophy is postponed, yes, there are chances that they will, Pakistan will definitely put it on as a failure for Jai Shah. And the second thing, obviously, they will say, look, they are not coming to India. We are not going for the hybrid to hybrid model. Look what we have done. So this is a kind of face saver. Perfect face saver for them. So, but what I know is that Mohsin Naqvi is not talking. Jai Shah is not talking maybe. But, पाकिस्तान ने अपने वो छोटे छोटे जो प्यादे होते हैं वो वहां पे रखे हुए हैं. तो लड़की बात नहीं कर रही है, लेकिन लड़की की सहेली से बात कर लो तुम, जैसे होता है ना, कि वो कहीं से मैसेज पहुंचा दो बस. तो इट वाज लाइक द पाकिस्तान सीईओज आर लाइक लड़की की सहेली, कि हमें बात पहुंचानी है लड़की तक किसी तरीके से बस.
Okay, so that's Rohit's take, and I've also seen this. I've seen a number of reports coming out of Pakistan which are saying, what is Jai Shah doing in Brisbane when the Champions Trophy decision is not done? By the way, my personal take is very different. I don't think the Champions Trophy has any relevance in front of an Olympic Games. Ultimately, the Champions Trophy is 8 teams, 50 overs, not a format of choice. And if in Brisbane cricket continues to be a part of the Olympic Games, that's a massive moment in the history of the ICC. You're actually talking the biggest global spectacle. And if Jai Shah manages to pull that off, gets cricket after LA, and under Jai, it will be in LA. Under Jai, it will be in Brisbane. This tenure, it will push that. I think Jai Shah will go down in history as one of the biggest decision makers, because imagine the value of the Olympic movement in India with the inclusion of cricket. Just that. Imagine today, if the value of an Olympic movement for a broadcaster is 10 rupees, the moment cricket is included, it will become 200 rupees, 20 times, if not 50 times. So what Jai Shah is doing is 100% correct.
And the main thing is कि Jai Shah फैसला ले चुके हैं, वो बता चुके हैं, अब उनको क्या करना है दुबई में. He's had other things to do.
वो तो अलग बात है.
एक चीज को ब्रैक करना है, ब्रैक क्यों करना है उस चीज पे? He has to go. उसके पास और भी काम है भाई, एक ही काम थोड़ी है कि चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी को लेकर ही लटका रहूंगा वहां पे.
एंड क्यों करेगा? बाय द वे, वो अगर ओलंपिक्स कर रहा है, सबसे बेहतर काम कर रहा है. क्रिकेट अगर ओलंपिक्स के इसमें आ गया एंड लॉन्ग टर्म आ गया, बाय द वे ओलंपिक्स प्रोग्राम ट्रिम करने का बात चल रहा है. अगर इसमें वो ब्रिस्बेन में क्रिकेट को बचा लेते हैं, अगर एलए के बाद क्रिकेट का मोमेंटम आ जाता है और ग्लोबल साउथ which is this part of the world, our part of the world, and then 2036 India mounts a strong bid. Imagine the power of cricket. Imagine the power of the sport going into the 2036 bid, which the Prime Minister of India is, by the way, championing. So what Jai Shah is doing can be completely understood from the geopolitical standpoint. The Indian government wants to mount the 2036 bid, and cricket will have a central role. If he doesn't do that and sits in Dubai for the Champions Trophy, then we will start questioning. Anyway, Devashish Sen, what is like? I mean, according to none of us, Shomik, me, Shubhan, Rohit, I'll go to Bharat and Gargi in a bit. None of us think Champions Trophy will be postponed because there's no other window. Then you have to cancel the tournament, postpone the tournament, and they will put the onus on Jai. Do you reckon anything like that can ever happen? This is a Pakistan thing, which is again being kind of floated like a rumor in the media.
I also feel so that this is kind of a rumor that has been floated, but I don't see Champions Trophy getting postponed because ICC Champions Trophy is a global event. So I don't see ICC will postpone the event. It will go according to its schedule. Then it is the phase loss for ICC in the global the world. So I would rather see and that the Champions Trophy will go ahead according to its schedule. And as far as the Olympics is concerned, I think it's a even bigger the moment when you compare it with Champions Trophy. Champions Trophy is a pretty small tournament. Yes, when it compared to and you just see what the Brisbane organizing committee is doing. They are transforming the Gaba into an Olympic stadium where cricket won't be a central thing. So just imagine this thing what the organizing committee is set up to. Means obviously this might well be the last cricket bilateral series and also the Ashes. But then I think the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane will be even a biggest spectrum for global world. Boryada.
Absolutely. I mean, make no mistake about it. 200 plus nations in an Olympic Games. From the geopolitical standpoint, it will be Australia speaking to the world, and only country which has hosted so many Olympic Games. I mean, after 2000 Sydney, it is again going back to Australia for 2032 Brisbane. So to question Jai on this Olympics meeting shows how idiotic these Pakistanis are. They have no understanding of global sport. They've made a couple of pennies which YouTube or some other platforms throw at them, and they think by talking India and bashing Indians, they will make some mileage. Clearly shows how daft they are. But on a different note, Gargi, this Champions Trophy thing is coming. Yeah. Go on.
No, you're talking about Olympics. I thought there would be a growing awareness about Olympic sport in Pakistan after Arshad Nadim's gold medal haul in Paris. But nothing doing, absolutely nothing doing. And Shubayan tongue firmly in cheek. Shubayan said, very rightly was talking about the pecuniary considerations. If it is postponed, Pakistan will not get any revenue. They are in the middle of this renovation work of their stadium. Shubham, very tongue in cheek, they will go to IMF. They will go to IMF and seek another bailout. And imagine Kristalina Georgieva, who is the head of the IMF, she is a Bulgarian. Her reaction, he probably has never heard of cricket in her life. And she would be asked to give a bailout for not completing the stadiums and for not receiving the ICC revenue. But Champions Trophy, this should be the last Champions Trophy. It will happen, I guess. I completely agree with Devashish. The Champions Trophy itself should be junked. ODI cricket 50 over is a dead format. You have T20 cricket and Test cricket. In between, you play the 50 over World Cup. That's it.
Gargi, your thoughts? This has gone to a different direction. Champions Trophy has lost its relevance, but that's a different call. At this point in time, the question we started with was the comment to Shomik, the Rashid Latif comment. Where do you stand on that? I'll take a quick comment on Bharat and move to the second part of this show, which is a different, which will obviously focus on BGT. Your first comment.
I think everyone here has already spoken brilliantly on this, on whatever was said by Rashid Latif. There's this comment here in our comment section, Abhishek Dave, he says, to be really honest with you, and says nothing after this. So this is kind of like what PCB is doing, what's the point of all this? What's the point of saying all this if you're, I mean, I don't understand what's going on. So, nothing more to add from my side. It's sort of ridiculous at this point, what's going on. But like Shomik said, I also think that with everything that's happened, that this is the final Champions Trophy if it ever happens. Because right now, whatever is going on with uh, PCB saying that we want it to be postponed and all whatnot. So this is the final Champions Trophy, and let's end it there, and let's all play cricket peacefully.
By the way, Dean Liren has 17 minutes on the board, Gukesh 51, Shomik Chakraborty. And it seems White has a little bit of a problem on hand. Little bit of a problem on hand. Are we seeing something sensational?
Brilliant middle game from Gukesh, and he now has an extra
Unbelievable.
ball. He now has an
That I just was
brilliant. I
about
mean,
to say. He's got piece advantage. He's got piece advantage. He's played an unbelievable middle game. He's got a piece advantage, and from this position, Black can't lose. If I know my chess a little bit, Black can't lose. Whatever can happen with White.
Yes.
See it still draw, but will Ding Liren come under time pressure? We'll keep an eye. This is getting to be an incredible endgame.
And especially after such a nervy opening. His opening was very nervy today.
Yes.
From there, for an 18-year-old to come back. Exactly. Superb.
Fingers crossed. By the way, folks, if it goes to tiebreak, it's a different format. We'll give you the tiebreak format also. 4 games, how it will happen. It will be, by the way, Nepo versus Ding last year went into tiebreak. So we will come to chess with Atreo in about 20 minutes, but we'll continuously update you as to what is going on with the Gukesh story. Coming to the Border Gavaskar Trophy, Bharat Ramraj, I know you are not a political person. That's why I did not ask you about Rashid Latif. You prefer to stay away. That's why you are million miles away from this Bhai answer, right? So that's why I will ask you about Border Gavaskar Trophy, Bharat. There is a lot of weather prediction, Bharat, which has changed in Brisbane over the last few days. No rain, build up rain, lot of rain, etc. All of a sudden, very hot. Do you play to weather? India did in the last WTC final and made a complete mess of it. Do you play to weather? Do you select your team like that? Or do you say, no, shut off. I will not play to weather. Whatever happens, we'll take it. We'll play our best team.
Yeah, see, weather conditions are always a factor. One can't completely ignore it, because if for example, if rain falls for a while, then definitely there would be some moisture at least. So the weather patterns, the weather conditions definitely would play a role. But again, you would rather back your strengths. That is, obviously India will pick, I think, 1 spinner at least, and then they will pick 4 fast bowlers. Whatever it is, I think that is how India will go. But definitely weather will play a role in terms of your toss factor. For example, we saw in that Bangalore test, Chinnaswamy here, it rained cats and dogs, pots and pans, and still India went on to bat first in those conditions. So when it has rained so much, then definitely there would be plenty of moisture, and India went and got bowled out for 46. Definitely when it comes to the toss, at least, I think that will play a factor. I just wanted to add a joke. Shamik talked about Altaf Hussain. When I first heard Altaf, the only thing that went inside my mind was Altaf Raja, the singer. Altaf means only one name I remember. And as far as Bhai is concerned, I just want to add one thing. Obviously, maybe Rashid Latif wants to hide it because Pakistan government themselves somehow and have always denied that Bhai is there in Karachi. So I kind of expected that he will try to deny it.
Okay, so let's get to part 2. Can we now definitively say the dream for Mohammed Shami is done with? Rohit Juglan, it's closed, finished. Mohammed Shami perhaps no longer making a red ball comeback, could come to that as well. Quick comment. and then we can move to part three. But the definitive comment on Mohammed Shami, certainly not Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Not looking like Boryada, as we were, reporting earlier also that there's very less chance of Mohammed Shami to get into the, get into the squad list. Because there are multiple bowlers, and I had a discussion, I think 50 days ago, some 40 days ago, with someone, and he said that if he can come in, he can come in the first two matches, if not first two. So I was having a word with him today also, and he was completely saying me that yes, I think quote unquote, the words were, I think they have moved on from him. So those were the exact words. If I have to quickly sum it up, it will be interesting to see that what lies him ahead in the white ball tournaments, because again, we can't forget what he did in the red ball. We can't forget what he did in the white ball format also, whenever he got his chances. And be it 2019 World Cup, be it 2023 World Cup, we know what kind of a impact he had with the ball. So yes, a brilliant IPL, maybe a brilliant IPL can turn things around, but for now it's really difficult. For Champions Trophy also, it looks, to me, it's looked really difficult, Burela.
So that's the update on Shami. By the way, Shomik, I still think it's a draw. I still think this game is a draw, and I think it will go into tiebreak because the couple of pawns and just this game is not going anywhere. I don't think Gukesh can press home a winning advantage from here. I think it's going into tiebreak, and we have to see what happens. By the way, Ding won in against Nepo in the tiebreak. So and it will not be today; it will be tomorrow. So that's the update as far as the tiebreak is concerned. Shubhan, moving on to my Border Gavaskar Trophy part discussion. You now have seen India, you have now seen Australia, both teams practice. Mitchell Marsh in that press conference said, India will also come back. It is also about momentum. People talk about momentum, but in this particular series, even 2021, 2018, now, the moment a team loses, there is a counterpunch, as Ravi Shastri said. Do you expect that from India, having seen India's body language today?
I would, and as we Rohit, Devashish, and I were surprised that in Adelaide the Indian team's shoulders were a bit down, their body language was a bit down, and we were pretty much surprised to see how easily although it was pink ball day night test. Okay, Australia have an advantage there. Have historically they have done well in pink ball test, but we were surprised to see their collective body language being a bit down. But today, starting with Virat's pep talk and how all the others batted, Gautam Gambhir's proactiveness since the last practice session in Adelaide, it has looked really good in terms of at least keeping up with the intensity, and Australians will continue to come hard. I don't think they will drop their guns a bit. They know that they can win this Brisbane test and put India under tremendous pressure, and they will continue to play hard. We saw Pat Cummins, we saw Mitchell Stark celebrating their wickets in Adelaide, and how pumped up they were, and they will continue to be pumped up here in Brisbane as well. The pitch, as I said in our afternoon live as well, as a young batter who is playing in Australian conditions for the first time, those green tracks can really be intimidating. So Australia know that Melbourne and Sydney might play into India's favor. So this is their best bet to get an advantage, put India under tremendous pressure, get their confidence levels down, and psychologically play with them. So Australia will do what they have done the best all these years in Australian conditions, and they will do exactly same in Brisbane. But for the Indian team, I think. Uh, as we saw in Perth, they have to collectively come against the Australian team. I was watching an Instagram reel, Australia 2018. I think that was when Steve Smith and Tim Payne was batting, if I'm not wrong, and they at one point the comment.
2018 Smith was not there, Shubhanda.
Or 22 then 22 or 2014 there. I think Virat's first match in Adelaide as captain, I think, where the commentator at one point was saying there are at least 10 people in the pitch map, in the inner circle, because all the Indian players were coming down and trying to hunt Steve Smith down, trying to intimidate him, trying to sledge him. So that is the kind of aggressiveness India needs in Brisbane at Gaba. They know that they have a beautiful memory from last time around playing in this stadium. So they will have to come collectively. They will have to be aggressive if they can be. If they can be, try to intimidate Australia. Their batting lineup is shaky. Yes, Marnus, McSweeney, they have scored runs in the last match, but still they would be a bit iffy about getting a momentum with the bat. Marnus, this is his home ground. McSweeney, this is his home ground. So they would be confident, especially after getting runs in Adelaide, that they can continue that with the run scoring. But if Bumrah, if from the slip cord and all the players, if the close by fielders come and hunt them together, I think they can be intimidated. I don't think this Australian batting unit is any better than the India's batting unit. Steve Smith is struggling. Usman Khwaja is not getting runs. Mitch Marsh, there's continuous doubts over his fitness, although he's still playing, but no runs. Alex Carey, despite having a great Sheffield Shield season in international circuit, at least in this series, has not been able to convert those starts into big ones. So Australia can be really put into pressure. Now it will be on the Indian team whether they can be really on their faces and say, we are coming down. That defeat was an aberration, and we will attack you. We will counter punch you. We will show you how hard cricket is played. So it will be on the team now.
Devashish, this is a point that I've been trying to make for a while on our shows about India being soft so far. Australia attacked the Indian bowlers, the tail. They came round the wicket, they bowled the bouncers, hit the helmet, Harshit Rana, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj. We know what happened to Shami with the hand last time round. So Pat Cummins was deliberately doing that ploy, captain leading that charge. Rohit Sharma did not make a mention of anything like that. The whole Siraj versus Travis Head incident. India has been a little soft this series. Do you think that will change in Brisbane? Will you see a more aggressive India, a more how do I put it, a more animated India coming at Australia?
And
I think there is an intent.
before Devashishda takes over, Rohit and I were discussing the same thing during Australia's chase when they needed 19 runs. We expected Mohammad Siraj to come and bowl at least six bouncer in his first overs, in his first initial overs, and that is what did not happen. They surrendered after seeing just 19 runs on the board. Yes, Devashishda, please.
Yeah, at least there is an intent. Means as far as this test match is concerned, with Virat stepping up and giving that pep talk. So clearly you could see there is an intent as to chalo. The Adelaide is past. It was a pink ball test because I think Indians had taken it that it will be a stiff challenge to get past Australia in that pink ball, having their experience in pink ball test. But again, with that test win, they can take a lot of confidence from the test win in Perth and leading up to this test match. Yeah, and it was an intense training session. But talking about Australia, clearly there are mind games. Clearly, Australians are playing mind games with Mitchell Stark and Josh Hazlewood not bowling in public today at the Gabba nets. They did bowl in full throttle to tilt in somewhere else, not at the Gabba, because that there are visuals of both Mitchell Stark and Josh Hazlewood bowling somewhere apart from Gabba. So it was a public viewing. The Australian practice session were open for the public. So these two players, they left the training session in middle and they were saying bowling at somewhere else in Brisbane, not at the Gabba. So clearly mind games, and clearly Josh Hazlewood in that video we could make it that he is almost near the full fitness. So whether Australia will play him, it goes to be seen. But Scott Poland as well bowled a lot at the nets along with Pat Cummins. So Australia have their pace battery charged up. Given the conditions, it will be heavily favoring the fast bowlers. So yes, it will be challenging. It will be challenging, and given that the forecast for on D1 there is a forecast of showers, so that might influence the captains perhaps to win the toss and maybe bowling first.
Bharat, I find this fascinating. Two people not being part of a training session which was open to the public, and at the start of the tour, Australian media was coming after Indian players saying, "Are they going to, doing a closed door net sessions? Is this some rocket science going on, etc., etc." Yeah, Shubhan, your quick point before I take this thing from Bharat on this.
So the Gaba outdoor nets, it does not have a run up for pacers. It does not have a run up for more than 28 meters, and Mitchell Stark and and Josh Hazelwood both have a longer run up. Even Mohammad Siraj today was bowling with a shorter run up. He also has a run up of more than of around 34 meters of what I heard. So just Daniel Vittori wanted to see I have written this in my copy as well. Daniel Vittori wanted to see Mitchell Stark and Josh Hazelwood bowl in full flow, because Mitchell Stark has also bowled a lot of overs in Perth and Adelaide. So they just wanted to check whether they are bowling in their full rhythm or not. So that is why they had to move to the Allen Border field, and then bowled in full flow for around 50 minutes to Josh English there.
Bharat Ramraj, your comment?
Yes, though I couldn't exactly get it. That means he's saying that the practice session, it was not long enough for them
The
to
run up,
perform.
the run up area is not longer than 28 meters. It is restricted to 28 meters for pacers. And Hazelwood and Stark have a longer run up, so they had to go
Yes.
to Allen Border field and continue their.
Yeah,
They could have
that's
practiced in the square. They could have
I don't
practiced
think
in
the
the
square
square.
was available today. I don't think the
Yeah,
square was.
so obviously that was not available, but clearly, come on, Siraj had bowled
Hit
in
the
that
ball,
small
hit the
run
ball.
up. Means, yeah,
Siraj
with
was
the
bowling
ball.
with a smaller run up, yes.
Yeah, that's quite strange that they had to go to some other ground, Allen Border field, and practice. Uh, Obviously, the Australians always talk about how they're the first world and all that, and it is quite strange that in the at their home ground, that they have to go all the way to some other venue, and Allen Border field is quite a bit far away, and go and practice.
Bharat is in form today, Gargi. He's in form. This one was a really good one. Really good one. Rohit Sharma should do something like this in the press conference. Gargi,
On if Rohit Sharma should do something like this.
absolutely he should. I mean, I thought Rohit was very soft. He should have. I mean, exactly what Bharat did. Bharat has not been
Yeah.
aggressive. He was very docile.
I mean, what can I say? I think Rohit is bindas enough. Lately, he's been a little diplomatic. I think that has to do with, of course, the criticism. They say that it doesn't affect him
But
and all
on a
of
more
that. But
serious note, do you think India has been soft? Do you think India has been
India,
soft, both you and Bharat?
I mean, when you compare it to what we have seen of India previously in Border Gavaskar trophies, we've definitely seen a much more aggressive side. This is not the most aggressive side, but I think they have new ways of working. Uh, Maybe there wasn't enough attention on sledging and all of that, but I think this Indian team is all about performance. Of course, it is about dominating on the field and sledging and having that aggression on the field, but it's more about performance. I think that as much as you can dominate with performance, that's the key there. I believe that's what the case is with this team, Rohit Sharma's team.
I was reading a comment by Ricky Ponting, Shomik, where he says the moment Siraj gave a send off, he was very worried for Siraj. Ricky Ponting becoming worried for Indian players because of an IPL coaching contract, you reckon?
No, I mean, Ricky Ponting is talking like a true blue Aussie. So don't forget, he is a former Australia captain, and he played in an era wherein Australia reveled in mental disintegration. So the fact of the matter is that, I mean, he will big up his lad Travis Head. So that is the thing, and it's part of that. It's part of the Australian cricket culture. Even Mark Taylor has also spoken about this. That I read his interview. Mark Taylor said what Siraj did, it is not proper stuff like that. But I will talking about aggression. I thought India missed the energy of Perth in Adelaide. The energy was quite not there, and could be for the fact that Rohit was not getting runs, and it plays on your mind when you are the captain and you are not scoring runs. But I'm very, very happy. I like this Rohit Sharma on the field as well, like what he did to Yashasvi Jaiswal yesterday. That you are late, even if you are late for a minute, the bus will stop for none. That's the Bombay cricket culture. That's the way it is. I mean, the message is clear. look, you have achieved nothing in your career as of yet, and you'd have no right to delay in terms of turning up for the bus. That is absolutely fine. And I like Rohit to channel this when he is been leading, forgetting the fact that whether he is scoring runs or not, as long as he is captain, he is the leader. And I don't want India to be that timid when Travis said was walloping him and there was no lip. They should give the players that think uh, could be affected by the lip. They should take the fight to the opposition, not only in terms of through their skill set, but by every means possible which is within the law.
Rohit Juglan, what is Travis Head scores in Brisbane the last three times?
Not in double figures.
0, 0, and 0.
I think
One ball,
0,
one
0
ball,
and
one
1, I
ball.
think. Or 0, 0 and 0.
0, 0, and 0. One ball, one ball, one ball. If
Yeah,
India
that I
doesn't give him this, if India doesn't give him this in terms of lip, that you've been out to a golden duck the last three times you've played at the Gabba. What are you talking about? 0, 0,
but
and 0.
but going by the numbers, I don't think it will. Yes, it's a very good number, to just make yourself happy and be confident about it. But I think the kind of average Manas Labuschagne had in Perth, it was staggering number, and he couldn't able to make it big. So I don't. My point is against Travis Head that we don't have a plan now against Travis Head. Means, are we going with a plan? Are we simply executing something against Travis Head? और we just want कि if अगर ये wicket खुद दे देगा तो दे देगा, we can't do anything. In WTC final we did the same. Yes, a lucky escape in 2023 World Cup final where there was, I think, almost a dozen of deliveries just going past his inside and outside edge. So yes, there he was a bit lucky, but if you see his Adelaide 100 again, it was looking like that we don't have a plan. There were n number of people who are talking about, when he start his innings, bowl closer to him, don't give him areas where he can cut the ball, don't give him areas where he can just score those runs in the gully and the backward point area and the point area. They don't cover it well. I remember in Perth, Virat Kohli himself goes to Jasprit Bumrah and said, I am standing here. Here also he said to Rohit that I am standing here. I think at the very start, if you don't give him runs at that part of the area, he will definitely try to do something stupid, something adventurous, which can give you a wicket. And after that, when he settles down, then and this was not said by me, this was said by all the experts that put a square leg, deep square leg, try to hit those bouncers somewhere around his grill, not somewhere around his chest height. He can pull you whole day. But if you are not doing those kind of bouncy stuff, if you are not trying to choke him with don't give him runs. So he's not a kind of batter who can left 10 deliveries and then say come 11th and I'll left the 11-1. If you ball a maiden over to Travis Head, he will definitely going to take his chances. So I think with India WTC final, we remember Ravi Shastri saying this in when he was around his 70-80, then Indians started hitting those short of length deliveries, bouncy deliveries. And after that, if you also see in this particular game, there was no bouncers. There was no bouncers at all. Harshit Rana, hitting those hard lengths, we kept on saying, even Jasprit Bumrah. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So
Comes just
we don't have a plan against Travis Head. That was the main thing. Yes, the numbers you told 0, 0, 0, I was aware of the fact that he hasn't scored in double digits here, but the 0, 0, 0 thing is like he haven't opened his account yet. So the main thing will be Travis Head will be happy that now this is my favorite team is in front of me. I score a lot of runs against them. Now this is again another time where I can score against them. For India, it will be always about being proactive against Travis Head.
I agree. He's got a 90 also, but against India, it's becoming sort of India is his favorite whipping horse where he scores maximum amount of runs. So I absolutely agree on that point. Any update, Devashish Sen, from the Indian and Australian camps? What time is practice? Because we move to chess. The game is kind of getting towards the end. Close game, but seems like a draw at this point. Devashish and Shubhan, any update on the practice timings?
Both teams have optional practice session with Australia training in the morning, followed by the two press conferences, and then Indians also have an optional practice session in the evening, in the afternoon. Sorry.
Any time for the Indian one? The time given yet? Do we know?
Yeah, they have shared the time. Just 1 minute. Shubham, can you share the time?
Australia will train in the morning, and
2
India
p.m.
will
2 p.m.
2 p.m. India will 2
India will
p.m.
train
from
at
2
2
p.m.
p.m.
and
9:30.
Australia will be
Australia will
from
9:30
9:30.
a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
What
India
happened?
1:15 press conference and then 2 p.m. practice.
That's India. 1:15 p.m. local press conference and 2 p.m. practice. That is for India. So
Yes.
pre-match means Rohit Sharma's press conference 1:15, 2 p.m. practice for India.
Don't know
Okay,
whether Rohit Sharma will come or anyone else from the coaching staff or
whatever,
Gautam Gambhir.
whatever. Yeah, Indian press conference. Indian press conference at 1:15, which is what time is it here in India? 8:45.
4.5 hours back.
Yeah, correct. 8:45. 8:45. So let's go live with our cricket coverage at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We can start at 9 a.m. tomorrow from the press conference, or we can even so and then we will continue into the Indian practice. For the moment, I'll let Shubhan, Devashish, and Rohit go. Thank you very much for joining. Catch you guys tomorrow morning. Uh, yes, Atro's there. Gargi, I'll let you go as well, unless any one of you, Bharat, Gargi, if you want to join for chess. Atra, what is it looking like from what we are seeing? It's a draw.
It does look like a draw, and I think Gukesh will still try and push for it for a while because he has 3 pawns against Dingliren's 2, but it's looking a very minuscule advantage at the moment, and it will still be a good result for Gukesh because he was playing with black, so his primarily objective must have been not to lose, which he has done with some degree of comfort. And as you can see, I am in a lot of discomfort. I am in a place where there is hardly any light, and I have to rush to the press conference and all that. But I'll say that this match is headed towards a draw, and this is something that Vishy Anand said about an hour ago, if not longer, that black has no chance. I mean, black has no chance to win, and it's also true that Gukesh has foiled Dinglire's chances of forcing the issue. Although Dingliren had white pieces, Gukesh didn't give him any chance to press for a win. And this was, under the circumstances, this was possibly the best result that Gukesh could have got out of this one.
I actually agree with Athro. Shovik, your one question to Athro before we let him go, but so he can take both together. My question is, at the start of the game, Athro, at least for the first 1 hour, it was Ding who had positional advantage. Today it was Gukesh who neutralized that advantage in the middle game and managed to get it back and get that little advantage towards the end. So Gukesh will take heart from that. That after the loss in the 12th game, he should take heart from the 14th game that he did not allow Ding to close it out with white. Shomik, your question before Atreo takes both and he can go to the press conference. By the way, somebody is asking me, what did I do to Riddhiman Saha? I exposed his lies. And Zach, read my book. I've exposed the fellow's lies left, right, and center. Trust me, much better than Gukesh exposed Ding in game 11 or Ding in game 12. Yes, Shomik.
So my question is basically, I bumped into a fantastic tweet from Suzanne Polgar saying that the fans and the experts who had said Gukesh would crush Ding in the World Chess Championship are the same people who are now saying Gukesh has no chance in the tiebreaker. What is your take in the sense? Do you think the tiebreaker would be a 50-50 affair?
No, I'll give you two statistics to establish my point. Why I think that Dingliren would be the favorite in the tiebreaker, because tiebreaker will be in rapid format to begin with, and in rapid, Gukesh is ranked somewhere in the 40s in the world, and Dingliren is second. In classical, I mean, which is the format which is being played now, Gukesh is 5 and Dingliren is 23rd. And if it goes to blitz, in that, Dingliren is ranked 6th and Gukesh is in the 80s. So from these, these numbers are enough to suggest which way this might tilt. But again, as we have seen that numbers and predictions, they do not always matter when it comes to a match of this magnitude or of this dimension. So I think Dingliren will certainly be the favorite if it when it goes to the tiebreaker. But we can't rule out Gukesh because he's a fast calculator and he's fresh on energy, and he'll be fresher of the two people because he's 18 years old and Dingliren is 32. So taking those factors into account, I would say.
Would you agree that Gukesh also has? I mean, when he was preparing for the World Championship, would he have also prepared for a scenario where it could have gone into tiebreak?
Undoubtedly, I'm sure. Sure. When players prepare for a match of this level, they take into account every possible scenario, every possible, outcome, and they uh, prepare accordingly. I'm sure Gukesh has also done that. So, having said that, Buria and Tommy, that if you look at the ranking, it, I mean, tilted completely in favor of Dingliren. If you look at their rapid and blitz rankings, 6 and 40 something, 2 and 40 something, 6 and 80 something. That's a huge gap.
And the game seems to be drifting towards a draw at this point in time. We will let Atreo
Yeah.
go to the press conference. We will let Atreo go to the press conference and give us all the updates, what's going on. But okay, Atreo, one more, very important. What is the tiebreak format quickly for our viewers? When is it? What is likely? Give us the format of the tiebreak, very important. Atreo, quickly.
1 second. Give me 1 second, please. As you could see, as you could hear, there was a vehicular movement over here. I couldn't hear a question, Buria. Can you come again, please?
I'm saying, give us the format of the tiebreak, please. What is the
Yeah.
format of the tiebreak?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. Firstly, there are going to be 4 rapid games. After that, if it doesn't produce a result, there are going to be 2 more rapid games. Even if those don't produce a result, it will go towards blitz, and blitz will continue as long as the game finishes, until the game finishes, I mean.
And when will this happen?
Tomorrow, same time, 5 o'clock Singapore time, which is 2:30 p.m. IST. It will begin at the same time, and
So
that is
fingers
how it
crossed
is.
tomorrow. So whatever happens is tomorrow, if there is no result today.
Unless there is monumental blunder on part of either side in this game, we are going to live another day. There will be a tomorrow.
Let's live for another tomorrow. Shobhit Chakraborty, Atreo Mukhopadhyay, thank you very much for joining. Atreo, send us the details. Fingers crossed for D. Gukesh. Can he create history? All of us hope he does. Thanks very much for watching.